Most people think wildlife stays outside. A bird flies over your roof, lands on a tree, and that's where the story ends. It doesn't. Right now, somewhere in the walls, vents, balconies, or stairwell of the building you're sitting in, there's a decent chance something with feathers is living closer to you than your neighbor does. Not visiting, living, raising young, dying, generation after generation, inside a structure built entirely for humans. Welcome back to the Hidden Aviary. Today, 5 birds that don't nest near your home, they nest inside it. Stick around for the last one. It's been behind your wall longer than you've owned the apartment, and honestly, longer than the building's been this building. 1. The starling in the vent. European starlings are one of the most successful birds on the planet, and one of the laziest when it comes to picking a home. No building from scratch. They look for a hole that's already there. A dryer vent. A bathroom exhaust pipe. A gap where the siding meets the roofline. Once a starling claims a vent, it packs the duct with twigs, plastic, cigarette butts, whatever's lying around, until the opening's stuffed tight. People run the dryer and smell burning feathers before they figure out why. The bird picked that vent because from the outside it looks exactly like the hollow in a dead tree it would have used a century ago. Your house is just a tree with better insulation, and the starling clocked that faster than you did. 2. The pigeon on the ledge that was always a cliff. Pigeons get treated like background noise. Gray, everywhere, beneath notice. But the wild ancestor of the city pigeon, the rock dove, nests on exactly one thing: narrow ledges on sheer cliff faces, high up, hard to reach, nothing climbing up from below. Look at the building across from yours. Air conditioning units. Window ledges. The ridge under a balcony. To a pigeon, every one of those is a cliff. Same height, same narrow shelf, same drop. The bird isn't lost or confused. It found the closest match to its ancestral home within 100 miles, and it's not going anywhere. 3. The swift that never lands. Common swifts spend their whole life airborne, sleeping, eating, even mating mid-flight. The only time one touches anything solid is to nest, and even then it needs something very specific. A narrow horizontal slot, dark inside, with a clear drop to fly out from. Old apartment buildings are full of these by accident. The gap under a roof tile. A crack above a window frame where the renders failed. A missing brick under the eaves. Swifts find these from the air, at full speed, without slowing down to check. Patch that one crack and you haven't just fixed a wall. You've evicted a family that's used that exact gap longer than the buildings had a working elevator. 4. Quick detour. Because this one matters, the bat everyone mistakes for a bird. That gap behind your shutters, under the roof tiles, in the joint between two buildings? Not always a bird. Pipistrelle bats use the same microgaps, barely 2 centimeters wide, and they're active at the same time of evening, which is why people constantly mix the two up. Both are doing the same thing for the same reason. Your building accidentally recreated a rock crevice that took millions of years to become home for something, and neither species checked who owned it first. 5. The owl that's older than the building. This is the one to stay for. In parts of Europe, little owls have been found nesting in the stairwells, bell towers, and roof voids of buildings built on the foundations of older buildings, sometimes centuries older. The owls didn't move in when the new building went up. They never left. Generation after generation just shifted from the gaps in the old structure into the same gaps in the new one, because the spot itself, the height, the orientation, the dark, never changed, even while everything around it was torn down and rebuilt. In some of these buildings, the owls have a longer unbroken residency than any human family ever has. They're not the newcomers. You are. So next time something shifts behind a wall at dusk, or a shadow moves past a vent that's never had anything living in it, it might not be new. It might be the latest in a line that was there before your building had a name. If this changed how you'll look at your own walls, subscribe. See you in the next one.